A new generation of drugs is reshaping more than just our bodies. It's reshaping our entire society. You've probably heard of them. Ozempic, Mounjaro. This isn't just a health story anymore. It's a huge debate about money, access, and what it means to be healthy. So are we living through a medical revolution, or are we walking into a new cultural crisis?
Let's start with the sheer scale of this thing. Right now, an estimated 1.6 million adults in Great Britain have already used these drugs for weight loss. This isn't some niche trend happening in the background. It's a mainstream phenomenon, and it is exploding.
So how do they actually work? Well, the science is pretty clever. Most of them are what you call GLP-1 receptor agonists. Now, in simple terms, they basically copy a hormone that tells your brain you're full. It's like turning down the volume on your appetite. Some, like Mounjaro, do double duty by helping to regulate blood sugar, which is actually why they were created in the first place, for diabetes.
And if you think 1.6 million is a big number, just look at who's waiting in line. On top of those already using them, another 3.3 million people say they are interested. That's a potential market of nearly 5 million people in Great Britain alone. The demand is absolutely massive, and it's still growing.
But that leads to the really big question. If millions of people want these drugs, who actually gets them? In Britain, that conversation begins and ends with the NHS, and the National Health Service has been crystal clear. This is not going to be a free-for-all.
Let's look at the official rules. The NHS has set up incredibly strict criteria, as you can see in this 3-year plan. You can't just get this because you want to lose a bit of weight. To even be considered for the first wave, you need a BMI of 40 or more, plus a whole host of serious health problems like heart disease. The message is simple. The NHS sees this as a serious medical tool for people in critical need.
But even if you do meet that high bar, there's a huge gap between who's eligible and who gets access. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, that's NICE, figures about 3.4 million people in England could be eligible. But the NHS only has the funding to treat 220,000 in the first 3 years. You can see the problem right there. It's a massive bottleneck.
And the guidance is emphatic about one thing. These drugs are not a magic bullet. If you get them on the NHS, they have to come with what's called wraparound care. That means a new diet, more exercise, and constant supervision from doctors. This is about a total lifestyle overhaul, not just a weekly job.
So, what happens if you don't tick all the NHS boxes, but you've got the money to pay for it yourself? Well, that's where a totally different world opens up, and it's created a stark two-tier system. On one side, you have the NHS route. It's based on strict medical need, you'll have to wait, but the support is comprehensive. On the other side, the private market. You get it straight away if you can afford it, but the level of support you get can vary wildly. It's a clear divide between access based on health and access based on wealth, and that raises some really tough questions about fairness. Now, this private boom has also spawned a much darker, riskier market online, because whenever demand is this high and official supply is this low, a kind of Wild West always springs up, and with that comes serious concerns about safety. The UK's medicines regulator, the MHRA, is walking a tightrope. On the one hand, they say for most people these are safe and effective drugs, but they also make it clear that the risk of severe side effects, however small, is real. It's a very clear warning. You need to be careful. And what are those risks? Well, one of the most serious, even if it's rare, is acute pancreatitis. It's a sudden, severe inflammation of the pancreas that needs urgent medical help. Just imagine dealing with that when you've bought the drug from some anonymous website without any proper medical advice. So in response, the regulators are now trying to clamp down. They're bringing in new rules for online prescribers. They have to properly check your BMI now. They can't just use a simple questionnaire. And they're going after the illegal advertising. The authorities are trying to tame the Wild West, but it's a fast-moving target. All right, let's just pull back for a moment and look at the bigger picture here. Because this is about so much more than a drug. This is about our whole culture, our relationship with our bodies, and the very tempting idea of a quick fix. Which really brings us to the core of the whole debate. What is this really? Is it a genuine medical breakthrough that can tackle a chronic disease? Is it a dangerous shortcut that lets people bypass the hard work? Or are we creating a new, expensive, lifelong dependency? Look, the science has given us a powerful new tool, one that can literally reshape the human body. That much is clear. But the bigger question, the one we're all left with, is this. Have we really stopped to think about how this tool might end up reshaping us?